I'm trying to, subject myself to financial intimacy and say, I want my partner, you know, to know everything about my finances. What do I stand to lose, or should I say gain?
Why would you think that you have anything to lose?
But we just talked about some of the risk right now.
There's always risk in life. But why would you have anything to lose? Why can't you be open with your partner? I mean, yes, you must have reason, good reason, to say I don't want to be vulnerable again. But they must have failed in something. Or they must not have met up the standard that you require in something. But if you choose, this is the person I want to get married to, or this is the person I want to spend my life with, what it means is that you are committing your life to them and they are committing their life to you. So if you start from the foundation that I can't trust him or I can't trust her fully, then you are not even married. You are only bound together by a piece of paper.
Wow.
Because marriage, when we think about marriage is a wholeness, saying two of us have become one. And when they say it in the scriptures, it's actually right. We have become one. So I like to give the example of a friend of mine who once would say, his wife would say, don't worry, he'll be home in half an hour. And this was before the days of mobile phones. And she knew him so well, just as he knew her so well, because they were that intimate. I don't know whether they still are like that, because I haven't seen them in years. But even then, I used to think to myself that this is super. These people, they had so much trust in each other. They had so much confidence in each other that you could not fault their intimacy.
Wow.
And I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about their relationship, the way they related with each other.
Do you think the society kind of like has a part to play in all of this, or the way we're brought up, not to trust, even personally, even as with my friends, we haven't talking about intimately, even with my friends, I sometimes I catch myself, lying about, maybe they say, how much did you buy this week?
That's why I said you don't have a commitment to your friend.
Okay,
so there's no intimacy.
But if you cannot,
but if your boyfriend asks you, or your husband asks you, how much did you buy this week, you should be able to say. If you don't say, or if you're not able to say because you don't want them to know, then there's an issue. Even if it's like, like I said, my money, his money, and our money, even if it is my money, and he says, how much did you buy this week, I should be able to say to him, yes, I bought it 400,000 or 700,000 or however much I bought it.
It's like you don't live in this our world, though.
I do, but I know immediately I said that. Now what thought that came to my mind was then you run the risk of the man saying, okay, she has so much money. No, she has so much money, so let me be begging her for money. You run that risk.
Yes.
Or vice versa. You run that risk. So that's why I say life is a risk in everything.
Or he can stop giving you money because
he can, because you think that you have enough money.
Yes.
So life is a risk. And the fact of life itself is a risk. How much more a relationship with another person? As you said, you are brought up differently. You don't know what they're thinking of. You don't know what they are going through at that time. For instance, your spouse, somebody could be blackmailing your spouse and making him give her or him money. And so they will be financially unfaithful to whatever it is the two of you have put together. But if there is that commitment and that trust between them, the man should be able to say, you know what, Mr. X is blackmailing me because of and it can only be for something that he's ashamed of, or something that he doesn't want to hear, or he doesn't want others to hear. So at the end of the day, it's all a matter of how one sorts oneself out.
I see why it's very important to actually carefully choose your partner, because if it comes to a part where you feel like they are not financially responsible, or you can't trust them with your finances, then the concept of the relationship or intimacy has already been taken away. Is there any such thing as financial compatibility?
Is there any what?
Such thing as financial compatibility in relationships?
Well, for me, I would say, and I'm saying this with all sense of knowing the kind of, as you say, society that we live in, I would say that before a couple decide to put money together, there should also be what we call financial independence. That is, I should have my own money that is mine, only for my use, whatever that use is, before I now pull money together with my spouse for whatever it is we want to pull money together.
Okay.
I also know that there are many people who say they have joint accounts, and the joint account itself doesn't have a purpose. So we're just putting money there, every day or every month. It's not as if it's tied to a particular purpose. There'll always be that tendency for one of them to go into that joint account and spend the money as they like. So in choosing our spouses, we must have a spouse who shares the same vision for the future with us, as in we share the same vision. And I know that many people, when they're getting married, they're afraid to talk about things about money, things surrounding children, things surrounding in-laws. They're afraid before they get married to talk about it. And then when they get married, after they are married and these things start to rear their heads up, it becomes conflict between the man and his wife, between the woman and her husband. And then it becomes all kinds of infidelity. Infidelity of the body, infidelity of the money, infidelity of the mind. And once you have infidelity of the mind, you are no longer compatible.
There's something I actually want to clarify. I know initially you started by saying you can have a joint account for financial openness, but the personal accounts that you have, and are you guys to declare those ones too, or that can be away from each other?
When you have a personal account, and let's say your salary is ₦1 million, and you're putting in, let's say, 500,000. I'm just throwing figures in the air, and you're putting in 500,000. You have 500,000 to spend on whatever it is, whether it's your hair or your drink or whatever it is. Now, you're not likely to come home and say, babe, that's my 500,000, that is my money. I spent it on another woman. You're not likely to say that. Do you get?
Yeah.
You're not likely to say that. In the same way that you're not likely to say as a woman that that money, I gave it to my friend for Ashwebi, or I gave it to my friend for her to have a party. You're not likely to. But the important thing is that because it's your money, you should feel free and confident enough to say to your partner, either to say in advance, or if they ask, to say, this is what I did with my money.
Okay.
I think you should be able to get to that point.
Interesting. So how can we how would I even put this? How can couples start financial conversations, especially if people are not on the same level when it comes to that?
I think that you start off by asking yourself, what's our vision for our family? I think that you can only get it right from that perspective. And your vision for your family could be, I want our children to go to school abroad, or I want us to build a house and stop paying rent in 3 years, or I want to I don't have a degree, I want to go to university and I want us to pay for it. So once you have a vision or a target for the money, then you can both agree and say, this is how much I can put towards it. There's no rule that says the man must bring the larger share. There's no rule that says it must be the same amount. But if, for instance, I am committed to giving you 100,000 a month, and next month I am not able to give 100,000, and these are my reasons, I think that first of all I should be able to say to my spouse, I'm sorry, this month I can't make the 100,000, I can only give 80. And my spouse should believe me that maybe the month after that I will make it.
So on the foundation of all this is still trust.
It's trust. It's trust.
Ladies and gentlemen, Deep Waters with Deborah Waters. We have a few minutes to wrap up the show. If you have thoughts and questions and opinions, please do well to calling. CC Lawyer is still in the studio, ready to take some of your questions and opinions. So please calling on 0915-534-5627 or 0915-534-5509. I know that you guys are listening in depthly, but if you have thoughts and questions, please do well to share with us. Finally, I want to ask, how can we I know I already asked about starting the conversation, but what's in the long term, what will financial intimacy do for a relationship? What are the long-term benefits of financial intimacy? Before you take that, let's quickly take a call. Hello. 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 All right, lost that. Please do want to call back. I'd love to take one more call before I go. So what are the long-term benefits of financial intimacy?
Well, certainly, again, it is you are building a relationship that's built on trust. You are building a relationship that even after you have left this world, you know that
you won't be guessing
you
somewhere.
won't be guessing somewhere that what's happening. And aside from that, you are having certain peace that even though your spouse has gone, what you both planned, you were able to achieve it, or at least you are on the way to achieving it.
Imagine just discovering that your spouse had 1 billion naira investment somewhere.
That is financial infidelity.
And you guys were pretending, and he's been pretending like, or she's that could be anyone. Pretending like there was nothing.
Please inherit it, but that was financial infidelity. Straight up.
Wow. We need to stop being financial infidels in this part of the world. What do you think?
We do.
We need to work, because sometimes you even hear stories of this woman, she saw me going through a lot, but she was building a house for her family somewhere else.
Yes.
Before you take that, or before we wrap up the show, let me quickly take this call. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, thanks for calling in.
Yeah.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm from Lagos.
What's your name? Hello?
God's time.
God's time. Thanks for calling. So talk to me, God's time.
So,
Hello?
talking about a couple.
Mm-hmm.
A couple that love themselves to be able to work together when it comes to financial stuff like this.
Okay.
There should be a trust, level of trust that they can add up their money together and they can know what they are going to do with the money.
Okay.
That's
God's time. Are you married or are you dating?
I'm single.
You are single. So does your girlfriend know about the money in your accounts? Does she know how much is there?
If before I spend any money, she is aware.
Wow, of everything. You don't have any separate account somewhere?
No. We just handle the same account, 2 accounts, and the 2 accounts will know the code to different accounts.
Wow, that's amazing. And you trust her not to move with your money?
I trust her. Whenever I spend, she believes that, okay, this is what I use the money for. And I always tell her.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Gaston, for sharing. I appreciate it. All right, I guess there are still relationships out there.
Oh yes, there are, because I know of someone who said to me, please send my salary into my husband's account, and I said no, I won't. But apparently that's how she operates her money. So there are people there who still trust their spouses.
And we need to appreciate those ones. So
there need to be more talk about people like that.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Ceci Lawyer, for joining us. How can people find you on social media? More calls are coming in. It's not that they want to call now, but see, we have to leave. So how can they find you on social media? Be a part of your courses or your content and all of that.
Well, I can be found on Instagram as My Ceci Lawyer. One word, My Ceci Lawyer.
My Ceci Lawyer.
And on Facebook, I have a page, just simply Ceci Lawyer.
Okay. All right. The Ceci Lawyer, there you have it. And to you, my callers and listeners, thank you so much for calling. Unfortunately, I can't take any of your calls. I wanted you guys to call in others while, but you guys were listening. You forgot to share your thoughts, and now we have to go. But again, I'll be live on Wednesday at 5 to 6 p.m. I have something amazing for you. A delicious delicacy right here on Deep Waters with Deborah Waters. You don't want to miss it on Wednesday, 5 to 6 p.m. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on Wednesday. On Wednesday. Bye-bye.